Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Game Junk Podcast, episode 228, recording on Monday, March 31st, 2025. And my name is Frank.
My name is Sean.
My name is Andrew.
And today we will be talking about the Nintendo Direct for 3/27/2025, which aired last week. You know, we thought, what's the last possible moment we can wait to talk about the Direct before it becomes completely irrelevant in literally 24 hours or less, depending on when you're listening to this, when the Switch 2 Direct happens on April 2nd. So this is our farewell to the Switch. Everything about it will be complete garbage by the time you listen to this. But we got to talk about it anyway, and we got to give it a letter grade. We will be bringing letter grades back on this episode. I was not here last week. Some top five, some experimenting with formats, all good. But as the comment said, we need letter grades. How you guys doing?
Good.
Not too bad. Good to have you back, Frank.
The back is back, and it's in pain. Sitting is not my favorite thing to do these days. I like laying. I like standing. I don't love sitting. So we'll see if it affects the show.
You gotta get one of those anti-gravity chairs or whatever and just lay straight back when you podcast. That's the way to do it.
I was debating podcasting from bed, but I'm feeling not too bad today. So by the end,
you gotta make sure you pump Robaxacet and Advil at the same time to maximize your pain-killing potential death mix of drugs, you know, to get that podcasting gold out there.
I am doing that, and I was told, or I was told indirectly, that Robaxacet you cannot combine with Advil because they share a common element. But the Kirkland brand Robaxacet does not share a common drug, so you can combine the two. So I don't know if I'm going to die, and that's completely false information, but whatever. It's worth it for that sweet, sweet pain relief. Okay. All right. Are we ready to get into the Nintendo Direct for 3/27/2025?
I think so.
All right. Now, we might go through this briskly. Famous last words, I know, but here we go. Some of these I'm just going to say anything, and we're moving on. All right.
Well, you're gonna have to reel us in, Frank. I don't know if you heard last week's show, but Sean and I were just going on forever.
An hour and 24 minutes.
I mean, if you take the reins off, we will run free.
Well, I'm here to clamp down and tighten things up. So the first game of the show, Dragon Quest 1 and 2 remakes, following up the 3. I think they had said previously that in terms of the chronology of the series, 3 actually takes place first, so nothing lost here. Coming later. Did anyone play Dragon Quest 3 Remake? I really want to, but it's never been on sale.
I did. I played a little bit. Yeah, I played a couple hours. It was pretty good. I enjoyed it, but it didn't really, pull me in. And I'm not really feeling that excited for this Dragon Quest 1 and 2 after Plant 3. I liked it. I thought the graphics were good, but the gameplay was just like, fine. And I don't have any nostalgia for Dragon Quest like I do for Final Fantasy games, so that wasn't a driving factor for me.
I know Tim Rogers loves the battle system in Dragon Quest and praises it constantly. So I'm very curious to try these games. Just waiting for them to go on sale. I'm not paying $90 for the HD remake of Dragon Quest 3. And Huck, I gotta ask, what's the deal with Suikoden HD remasters? How have you not popped on these yet or played them?
Well, I am busy and I don't have time to play anything, apparently. Well, I did last week. This week, nothing. I don't know. I've tried and started Suikoden 1 and 2 multiple times and always reach, probably about 5 to 8 hours in and then always fall off. And I think it has to do with all the characters and the sheer amount, like 108 characters that are in the game. And, I always find that I think the parties have 6 people. I always find I'm just keeping the same 6 or maybe 8 of my 108. And I don't really see the point.
I thought you loved those games. I guess I'm misremembering.
I do like them, but not to the point where I'm dying to try the HD remaster.
Okay.
And you know,
Fair
it's to me they look similar to what I remember them looking like in my mind's eye. So like it's the visual upgrade is not dragging me in.
Okay, fair enough. Next up, this one's kind of confusing because when the announcer said the name, they didn't say AI. They said I, the Somnium Files spinoff, No Sleep for Kaname Date. And instead of AI, they pronounce it I, which is the name of the AI character in the game, which I have nothing to say about. Moving on. Anything?
I've played like those AI Somnia files or whatever they're called games in the past.
Oh, really?
And they're okay. They're like decent little puzzle games, but they are heavy in like slow, dialogue and slow walking through areas and lots of dialogue. And I don't know if I'd ever play another one again, to be
Okay,
honest.
fair enough.
They
Okay,
have good
next.
reviews, but
Yeah, they do
yeah.
have good reviews. Yeah.
I'm not buying it. Something's up here. Next up, Raidu Kuzunoa Remaster. Raidu Remastered, the Mystery of the Soulless Army, published by Sega. I am not familiar with this game or series. Huck, anything to offer here?
No, I have no idea. I've never seen this before in my life. Never
Okay.
heard of it. Don't know what it's remastering.
I also don't know. Looked kind of generic. Something like I typically expect to see in a Nintendo Direct, to be honest, and completely forget about.
Yeah, I think it is related to Shin Megami Tensei somehow. It's like a
Ah,
spinoff
okay.
or something, but that's all I
Okay.
know.
There's the hook. All right, next up, let's get Sean moving here. Shadow Labyrinth update releasing July 18th, 2025. The Pac-Man Metroid-like. Sean, we got to get your thoughts on this updated footage.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of looking forward to it. I don't have too much else to say about it, but it's intriguing to say the least.
I mean, there were a lot of questions about what a Pac-Man Metroid-like would be. The one answer I got that I really liked was the equivalent of like a morph ball, where it's doing Pac-Man stuff around the edges of the map. Could see some cool stuff happening there. And I don't know, it got me pulled in a little closer. I'm in a bit of a Metroid-like kick right now, so and I love Pac-Man. I love the property IP Pac-Man. My only barrier to entry on this, I am not digging this art style all that much. It like there's something about it. I can't quite put my finger on it. It's not bad. It just is not vibing with me. So, and the look of the Pac-Man or sorry Puck companion also not vibing. And there's the Gaia form where it's like a cyborg with Puck in the middle as this hub. I need a little more emphasis on the Puck in this game, and that remains to be seen.
Yeah. I
Okay.
mean, it's just interesting that it's kind of this darker take on Pac-Man, but I agree. Like, it's not blowing me away in terms of visuals.
Yeah, but the Pac-Man's not dark. The Pac-Man's still yellow,
Mm-hmm.
and there's nothing dark about the Pac-Man. The world's dark and doesn't feel inherently Pac-Man-like. Obviously, we've seen no influence or appearance of the ghosts for very crucial elements to Pac-Man. So we'll see if that plays a role. Anyway, moving on.
Yeah, I was just gonna say the contrast between Pac-Man and the world and the main character is so drastic, and not like you're saying, Frank. Not what you expect. It is a little bizarre, and just something's weird.
Yep. Patapon. This is kind of surprising to me. Patapon 1 and 2 replay coming to the Switch. I thought these were Sony properties, to be honest. There's a few things coming up that I thought Sony owned. I forget the publisher. Was this another Namco or Namco Bandai? I like Namco.
Yeah,
Can we just call it Namco?
Sure.
But I did download Patapon 1 for PS4 after I saw this today, and then I promptly fell asleep before I played it. Any Patapon fans in the house?
Yes.
Played a bit on PSP.
Yeah, I played a bit on PSP too. And I did the same thing as you, Frank. I downloaded or set up to stream the Patapon on the PS Plus, PS Extra, PS Premium, whatever the hell it's called. And I load up the title screen. I'm like, you know what? I'll get to this later, and then never go back to it.
I've tried Patapon many times. I always do the first level and then feel confused. I have this experience many times. I will try it again in the near future. Next up, Story of Seasons Grand Bazaar, August 27th. More Nintendo Direct fare. I'm prepared to move on.
Keep her moving.
Yep.
All right, now to the meat of the presentation. Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. I'm going to be looking at Sean at this because he loves psychic abilities. And that was the big reveal of Metroid Prime 4 Beyond.
Huge.
Samus gets psychic abilities like being able to bend her shots, which was hands down the only noteworthy thing of this presentation. Unless I missed something, Sean, what did you think?
No, I mean, that was pretty much it. I think the world for this game is kind of jungle-ish, I would say, which isn't like, there's been kind of some similar stuff like that in other Metroid games, but
well, while you're on that, a lot of people were doing side-by-sides of Metroid Prime 4 and Halo 4, which started in a very similar looking jungle and was like, I think 15 years ago or 10 years ago, which is crazy, and saying that Halo looks better. Now, I don't necessarily agree. I mean, technically, I think it does look better. Art direction-wise, I think Metroid looks way better. Like, there's more like nuance, and as Metroid Prime's known for, making each area or room look unique. Like the art directions, I still think very strong, as it always is in Nintendo games, but technically leaves much to be desired. And it really, like, how is this game taken however many years to make? It's just another Metroid Prime.
Well, so that's one of the questions, right? Is this was shown during the Switch Direct? Will it be re-shown again during the Switch 2 Direct? I assume it's going to be one of these games that bridges both consoles, but like,
it will. How
But
much different will it look will be the question. Is it a bait and switch too? Like, they're giving you the Switch version only to have you blown away by the Switch 2 footage in less than 24 hours.
see, that's what's weird about it. Like, if that's the case, why would you have that as part of your Switch Direct and show like a lesser visual quality version
To get
just to
people
then-
hyped up, like, wow, the Switch 2 is actually powerful. I could actually see them
Yes.
down, like, making the Switch version even shittier. So like it's a starker contrast to the Switch 2. So everyone's like, wow, I got to get the Switch 2 and the Switch 2 version. It's
just
so
see,
much better.
like, if people look up Switch 2 trailer and they just happen to see that version, that would be bad, right? So I don't know. It's a strange one, but in terms of the powers in the game, I mean, yeah, the psychic powers are different. I mean, it did make me wonder, is this going to use motion controls, like Joy-Con motion controls? Is that possible? Are they that crazy?
No, I don't think
Because,
they're that crazy. I'm sure there'll be options for both, no matter what happens. But I mean, my biggest takeaway from this footage was we're back to like scanning in like the most basic form, where it seemed like it was taking a while to scan things. I thought that was the one element that would have been, okay, scanning takes forever. It's not that much fun. How do we expedite this process or make it more fun? Even in Assassin's Creed Shadows, tagging enemies, one of the most unfun things to do in games ever. That, a lot of games, like, you can scout your objective and tag enemies. It's so much fun. No one likes doing that. Assassin's Creed Shadows makes it really easy to do. Like, you literally just hover over them and they get tagged. Thank God. But if I got to go around scanning everything again, I might blow my brains out. Like, this, they got to fix scanning.
I don't know why they couldn't be audio, like have a computer read to you. Like, why do you have to sit there and read these blocks of text? It just seems kind of...
I meant more the process of scanning. Like, how long do you have to look at something? Or can you be doing other things while you're scanning? You have to switch to scan mode in Metroid Prime Remastered, and obviously the original. So I I didn't see anything in this that made me think, wow, this is the next gen version of Metroid Prime, regardless of graphics, quality of life improvements, smoothing out this experience. I had major questions and concerns for this game after seeing this footage.
Yeah, I agree, especially since one of the scanning sections they showed was where he was scanning like a statue, or sorry, she was scanning a statue or something like that. And right before it goes into scan mode, if I recall correctly, it you there was no way to tell that that wasn't just static geometry. Like it was the same color as like the wall right beside it. There was nothing, to me anyways, differentiating it as something you should scan, which means you're potentially going to run into the problem of like the Batman Arkham Asylum issue where you just always bring up detective mode. You're always bringing up scanning because there could be something hidden that you might want to scan, and you're not going to find it unless you're always scanning. So I don't know. I prefer games that even like, you know, the super obvious. Like I've just been playing Rise of the Tomb Raider, right? You got the white marks, or in Uncharted, you got the yellow marks, like of like things of interest you can climb. Like the same sort of thing should be for things you can scan. There should be some sort of identifying marker that makes it a little easier to see. You don't want to be going through every room just like pulling up your HUD every time, slowing yourself down. I don't know. I don't like that style of gameplay. I think they should have something where if your eye catches it, you would be drawn to scan it. Not that you need to like just guess because there's some like unique piece of art that blends in with the background that you should think to scan it. I don't know.
See, I kind of disagree in the sense that I like when a game that's based on exploration that there's less tells as to what you should explore. Like part of the game is, okay, is this important? Is this interesting? I agree that certain things of significance should call your attention just on the way their art is designed. But I think you can you can have it where things are less obvious, but the way your HUD and user interface is set up, it kind of guides you and lets you do it in a more fluid experience rather than switching to scan mode to scan things all the time. Like, I just think even when you run in Assassin's Creed Shadows, if you hold the left trigger, anything that's in your radius that might be of relevance is kind of like, depending on how far away it is, it might be a blurry dot and it's like somewhere near you. Like it helps you with some of that stuff. So, I don't know. I think we share the common opinion that based on what we're seeing, scanning doesn't look like it's fun in this game. And I hope we're wrong. I hope it's just footage not really conveying how they've kind of smoothed that experience out. But I'm obviously excited for a new Metroid game, but my hype level is very low right now. Sean, what is your hype level from 0 to 10?
I mean,
decimals are allowed.
It's like a 7 right now, maybe.
Wow, this is your favorite game franchise of all time. First entry in over a decade. Your hype level's only a 7?
Yeah, I know. I'm still making plans to go back through the Prime trilogy and finish 2 and 3, and we'll see how they hold up. But
that sounds like a bad idea, sir.
And we'll see. But yeah, I mean, that's the thing with Prime. I feel like that series was great when it came out, but as we've been saying, it's like, okay, now you got to bring something new to that first person format, and I don't know if I'm seeing it.
I'm not either. The only way to play Metroid Prime 4 Echoes, or is it Metroid? Oh, Beyond. Sorry, Echoes is something else. Who cares? You got to wait till Switch 2 release day. It's the only way to like bump it up to an 8 hype level. You combine it with the Switch 2 and you kind of push it over its like average looking nature because you're playing a brand new system at the time. It's made for this experience.
Do we think this is a launch title for Switch 2?
I'm going to say no.
I mean, yeah, I feel like it would be further along. There'd be more to show. hard to say, but it's my
I th-
my gut is saying no.
I think it's highly likely, but my gut says no. I think there might only be one Nintendo, maybe two launch titles for Switch 2. I think new Mario Kart will be a launch title, and like something like a party game, like a Switch 1, 2, or something that showcases the console a bit. I think there'll be
See,
stuff in the weeks after. I think those are the only two things that are going to ship on launch, and maybe this could be a thing. Zelda both 3D Zeldas enhanced, because if there's not enough games, I'm curious if they'll charge for an upgrade. It'll be an easy way to either get people to buy old games that they haven't bought before, if they're a new Switch 2 buyer, rather than because then, well, they'll buy the new games when they come out. Let's get them to buy old stuff when the system launches. That's like easy money. And then or it's actually $25 to upgrade for either of those.
yeah, well, but I mean, I feel like a lot of the last few generations now, generally they've launched with a lot of like upgraded versions of old games in order to have more of a lineup, more of a launch lineup. And this is one case where they've taken so long to launch the Switch 2. You'd think they would have a lot more stuff built up as launch titles. And I've even heard that they're saying that they're going to start with a lot of first party titles, and then slowly third party stuff's going to come out later. So I don't know.
I don't buy it, but we'll see.
I think there's going to be a stronger launch lineup than usual for the Switch 2, but
I mean, they've had it cooking for a while, and it's not like technically anything astounding, so it would make sense. Okay. All right, we're moving on from Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. Sean apparently did not care about the psychic abilities. He had nothing to say. Next up.
Oh, hang on. Whoa. We forgot to mention they showed Samus's red suit.
new suit.
Huge.
Yeah.
Wearing red.
They didn't even say what it was. It was just this weird, like suit. Okay.
Cameo of the suit. Yeah.
All right. Next up, Disney Villains Cursed Cafe, dropping that day. It was a day and date drop. Like, get it in there. Did anyone play Disney Villains Cursed Cafe?
No.
I mean, talk about combining all the different cozy genres you can get. Like, it's weird to me that it's Disney Villains specifically, but
it is also available on pretty much every platform. It's on PSN as well. So just seeing if there's a trophy guide yet. No, not yet. Okay. I probably won't be playing. Next up, arriving holiday 2025, Witchbrook, which is kind of like Stardew Valley for Witch School, I guess, is a brief summary. Yeah. I have nothing to say about this. Anything from you guys?
The only thing I could say is there's this game on Steam that I've had on my wish list for a while now called Spells and Secrets, and it's very similar to this, except the Spells and Secrets is like a legit 3D, but same perspective from what I could tell. And yeah, so this also had co-op, like 4-person co-op, which might be fun. But yeah, I don't know. I thought it was kind of interesting. I don't know if I would pick it up immediately, but it's definitely something I'd keep my eye on. Possibly a Steam sale candidate.
It looks like it will be on Game Pass.
Oh, well, okay. Then the cost, the price is right on that one then.
We have a confirmed turd in the midst. Okay, next up, The Eternal Life of Goldman. Now, this game has been popping up in my Reddit ads all the time ever since I started looking for Metroid likes and like hidden gems and all this stuff. And so this game has been on my radar. And this is the first like extended footage I've seen for it. It's like a Metroid like with hand-drawn animation. Apparently everything is hand-drawn. And I kind of love the look of it. I'm very excited for The Eternal Life of Goldman. And it just popped on my radar like 2 weeks ago. Coming later this year, I think, holiday. I think it said 2025. Sean, looking at you, Goldman, in or out?
I mean, I didn't remember it from the direct, but I'm looking at screenshots and it looks pretty cool. So yeah, I'm interested.
Yeah,
The
I'm also watching the extended gameplay trailer on Nintendo's website, and I do not remember this at all from the direct. I don't know what they showed at the direct, but I like wrote it down in my notes, but then do have no memory of this at all. It looks pretty cool.
yeah, I mean, I did. Uh, I may have said that the Ducktales like pogo mechanic is overrated. This seems to be bringing it back. We'll see if it makes it more interesting. I know, obviously, Shovel Knight used it as well. I used it in that game. I wouldn't say I loved it. I would prefer a button press and some other things rather than hitting down on the D-pad. But either
Now,
way,
I was just gonna say it's an old man as the main character. Is this like a new form of boomer platformer?
oh, maybe I think it's more of a. It's like their version of Scrooge McDuck. Scrooge McDuck's an old guy, so let's get
Yeah,
our human Scrooge in here who
I
loves
think you're onto
gold.
something there.
I would like to see a tie-in with why can't I think of his name now? Who'll give you money for your gold? Oh yeah.
Oh, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. The Toronto
Well,
guy.
I can't think of his name.
Cash Man.
The Cash Man. They should call this game the Cash Man. Um,
Should get some licensing
I gotta look
rights.
up his name. This is driving me crazy.
Oh yeah.
Russell Oliver.
Yeah, yeah.
I
That's
I
that's a
true.
deep Toronto cut right there. No one would know about that outside of Toronto area.
I'm definitely getting old and my memory's starting to fade because I never thought if you would have told me 10 years ago, in 10 years time, you will forget the name of Russell Oliver. I wouldn't have believed you. I would not have believed you. Next up, Gradius Origins. I'm I'm kind of into this. I've always wanted to go back to the Gradius series, and I know I say I'll play it. I doubt I'll probably buy it and play it for 20 minutes, but I'm kind of hyped for this as far as collections, HD remasters go.
Yep, buy and play for 20 minutes. That's my plan.
Yeah,
I would be more excited if it had Gradius 4 and 5.
I agree. I want 4.
There's some speculation that it's, Konami's been doing some of these collections and they usually break the games up into a few different volumes so that there might be another volume after this. But
Yeah, for sure. They're not putting the good one all together with this. They're saving
Yeah.
it for a second collection. Rift of the Necro Dancer, new DLC with Celeste and Pizza Tower crossovers. This game released in February, I think. I was not even aware that it had released.
Oh,
Anyone tried it?
Yeah. No, I didn't even know it was out either.
no,
So-
I think I downloaded the demo and did not play, but I'm
Kind of curious. I mean, there's a lot of mini rhythm games in this direct, and I don't know. I suck at the rhythm platforming and combat, but just straight rhythm games I like. So kind of curious. Okay, this is where we get into like Tamagotchi, Overload,
yeah.
Tamagotchi Plaza or Tamagotchi, pardon me. June 27th. I have absolutely nothing to say about this. Anyone?
Nope, just I was confused what the difference between Tamagotchi and Tomodachi is. So you just brought it up. I still don't really know.
I think it's Tamagotchi, Sean.
Tomodachi.
Tamagotchi.
Tamagotchi.
Not Gotchi, Gochi.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
Keep going. I don't think you guys got it yet. Keep going. Keep trying.
Sean, one more try.
Tamagotchi.
I've
Is that
said
what you're saying?
Tamagotchi my whole life too, so I was like, this is going to be hard to fix, but apparently harder for Sean. Next up, probably a game many people were excited about, Pokemon Legends Z through A, launches late 2025. I've tried many times to get into Pokemon. I can tell you definitively, this will not be the Pokemon that gets me back in. This looked like the most boring version of Pokemon I've ever seen. Even thinking back to Arceus or the other recent versions, this looked like the most stripped down, old gen version of Pokemon I've ever seen, and the combat was just like two things standing beside each other. The perspective didn't even change for combat. This thing looks like a mega turd.
I mean, I never know if these are like remakes of previous Pokemon games or spin-offs or what they are, but the one thing that was kind of interesting is that it seems to be mostly set in a city, which I'm sure there have been cities in Pokemon games, but just it seems like the whole game is mostly set in a city, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah, I thought this looked like basically a reskin of the other Pokemon games that have come out on Switch already. I think they were called Arceus and Sword and Shield are the two other ones that are
I think there's another set too.
another
I
one
think
also.
I think they remade Red and Blue is
Diamond
Scarlet,
and Pearl
Scarlet
or something.
and something. I don't
Scarlet.
know.
Yeah. Scarlet and Violet.
I'm
So
not sure
yeah,
though.
yeah,
Who
that rings a bell. So I mean, nothing really. I was kind of the same as you, Frank. Like nothing really looks that interesting from other Pokemon games. Like I'd probably rather just go back and play
Yeah,
Pokemon Shield or whatever that I already have a game in. Um, and then like the big selling feature, they're like whatever they said, day night cycle. Like that's their big selling feature. Like it could be night or day. Is that the thing I'm remembering? Yes, it was. That's what I wrote down. So like that's your big selling feature. I mean, day night cycles have been happening in games now since like I don't know 2000.
oh yeah,
So like
I was laughing hysterically.
if that's your selling feature now in 2025, like you're little behind the times on that's not really something people are looking for as a selling feature. And yeah, I don't know. There was one other thing they mentioned. It was like something like a tournament or something they were talking about. Like it wasn't like it seemed like it wasn't really the gyms. It was like people could went in other tournaments or something. I don't know. There was some weird, not a gym that was the other big feature they were touting.
I don't remember that at all.
Yeah, well,
Okay.
that's
Battle
how memorable.
zones? I see
Battle
something about
zones.
battle
Yeah, that
zones.
sounds right. Yeah, that could be it. Either
Um,
way, not selling it, not buying it.
All right, we're moving on. I do like the title though. I like the idea of going from rank Z to rank A. That's all I'll give it. Rhythm Heaven Groove coming in 2026. Late announcement for Nintendo. Sean, I feel like I've never played a Rhythm Heaven game. Have you? Seems like your kind of thing. Almost WarioWare mini games for Rhythm.
Yeah, I've not played any of these before, but I will admit this trailer kind of had me being like, "Oh, what is this?" And then when I saw it was Rhythm Heaven, I'm like, "Oh, okay, I've heard of this, but yeah, I don't know, it looked kind of cool, but it is weird, 2026. So what's up with that?"
Yeah, but I agree. It looked okay. Next up, the announcement of the show. Virtual game card feature coming to the Switch so you can share digital games, which I mean is long overdue. I thought there would something like this would already exist with families at least. Apparently not. Um, Clearly this is setting up being able to play games on your Switch too as well. That's all this is for. But it did look like a very simplified Nintendo version of a system like this, and I kind of liked how they presented it. I thought it made sense to me, and none of this applies to me. So you guys both have families that share games. What were your takeaways from this?
I don't
Well,
know.
do you have multiple Switches, Huck?
I so I I do. I have one Switch Lite, but we never use it, and I have the regular Switch. So I mean, it could come into effect, and I don't have like that. I do have like multiple profiles on the one Switch that I guess that constitutes the family, and like we've set up kid accounts for that. I don't know if there's something else I need to do, but I'm pretty sure like in the Nintendo app or something, I have everyone set up in a family thing. So we could definitely use this. It seemed strange to me that they would have this like 2 week lend out period, and I don't know what the point is of like adding that friction to it. Like
So you can't lend games forever. And
Yeah.
I know, but I mean, it seems weird if it's just within your friend group. or like
No,
your family group. The family group, I don't understand. Like the family thing doesn't make sense. Maybe if you're lending it to like a buddy and limiting how long that buddy can get it, I guess it makes sense. But I mean, if you were actually close friends and seeing them all the time, you would just continuously lend it out. Like it,
yeah.
I
Well, what
don't know.
happens is four friends get a family account somehow, and then or
I'm sure it's happening.
they hack that. Yeah, but then it prevents them from like
Yeah,
basically buying and sharing games
and I think
forever.
you have to all be on the same Wi-Fi network, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, it's weird. When I first saw this announcement, I was like, "Oh, this is actually cool." Like, you can trade, uh, digital games with friends. Like, why has this not been done before? And then the more I kind of heard about it, I was like, "Oh, it actually seems like they're just adding restrictions onto things because of the Switch 2 and because of the family." Because I think right now, like you have two Switches, Huck. I believe a lot of games. I don't know if it's all games, but I believe you could download, like if you bought it on your main account and you have that profile logged in on both, you could download that game on both devices and you could play simultaneously that
Oh,
game
really?
on both devices. I believe. I could be wrong, or maybe it's not all games, but
So I don't think I've ever logged into that second Switch with my primary account. So I haven't tried that out, but I mean, that would be easy to
yeah, so I
try.
think this is actually making it so you can't do that anymore. You would have to take
Uh,
your virtual game card and give it to that other device, and now that's the only one that can play that game for the 2 weeks or whatever.
gotcha.
And I think they said there's only like two devices you can share with or something. Like it was a really small number. I was like, so it's just for families. Like it's not for
Yeah.
sharing with friends.
Yeah, it's only two
Definitely.
devices. Yeah. I was kind of surprised because they started off by being like, you could take a physical card and move it wherever you want. So I was like, this is great. They're going to do the same thing with digital things. This is kind of cool. Like, I just give it to you. And then, if you give it back to me, I get it. Like, but it's like this whole lending period and like it is still yours, but only for a temporary time. Like, I don't know. It seemed like I thought they were going more of the route of like you can actually share your games with people and whoever, but then all these like you're saying, all these restrictions are it's more of a restrictive thing, and it was weird that they let it off with that comment on how you can like, just take a physical game and give it to your buddy and they can put it in no problem, and then they went into this thing that's not like that at all. So
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of like that. I just thought it
a little
was.
bit like that, but
I,
not
I
really, because it's only one other Switch in your family members.
I thought it could be any local Switch. You could like hand off a virtual game card to any local Switch.
It
I don't,
said two systems.
they definitely said two systems at
It
some
looks like you have
point.
to like pair the two
No,
switches.
yeah, I guess. Yeah, sorry. I guess I assume like if you have a friend that you like to share games with, you could share as many games. Like you can only share one game at a time, but you can share games as often as you like.
Right.
And
But if you have a third friend, they can't get anything.
who's got three friends or two friends?
Buddy, we got three right here. Me,
I
you,
know.
and
I'm just
Bly.
kidding. All right. So I'm sure people are happy and furious with that announcement. I don't care. I'm going to be all Switch 2, good to go. I'm going to throw my Switch 1 in the garbage. I'm going to
Please.
I'm going to skip the sizzle reel unless anyone has anything to say there.
Nope.
No.
No. Okay. I think I might have missed the sizzle reel because I would have liked to have mentioned or noticed something about King of Meat, but looking it up, it doesn't seem all that great. Saga Frontier 2 Remastered, available that day. Anyone pop on this? Anyone care?
No.
Nope.
This is an RPG you have fond memories for there, Huck?
Nope.
Okay.
None. Zero.
Monument Valley 1 and 2 ports coming in April. Monument Valley 3 coming this summer. I've never played a Monument Valley game. This made me kind of want to give them a try again. Feels like something Sean likes. Sean, let us know what you thought.
I mean, I like those games. I finished one. I think I've played part of two and three. FYI, I believe they're all out on Netflix on mobile.
I think
This
so
guy's
also.
always talking about Netflix mobile games.
Hey, they
The
got some good
only
stuff.
guy, the only guy. They
I'm the
should
only
give
one
you
who knows.
something. Another classically PlayStation property, although it is on iOS. Everybody's Golf Hot Shots coming to the Switch, which this is so weird. Like it used to be called Hot Shots Golf. Then they changed the name to Everybody's Golf, and this one's Everybody's Golf Hot Shots. How fucking dumb is this? Like it actually
Coming
makes
full
me
circle.
it makes me so angry. Because I
Is
really
this
like
a
this.
new game?
I think it is a
I
new
think
one.
so.
I don't know if it's like a version or a repackaging of the iOS version. But I love this franchise, and it still kind of made me angry, and it just made me want a new, better version of this on PlayStation.
Yeah, I mean, I might check it out. I don't know. Like I think I've played Hot Shots. I don't think I've ever played Everybody's Golf, but I mean, I guess they're all the same. So
Yeah, they're amazing. I loved it on the Vita. It was so hard to get all the trophies. I put a lot of time into those games. Next up, Marvel Cosmic Invasion, yet another retro beat 'em up pixel art game. So many of these days. Every franchise imaginable is getting their retro beat 'em up. Are we done yet? What do we say? Are we into this, or are we at our boiling point of being able to take these, play them for an hour, and never play them again?
I'm into it.
yeah, I'm
I'm
into
into it
this
for
one.
sure.
It is
I'm-
the same developer as Shredder's Revenge, so
Oh.
that's pretty huge.
Yes.
Like we've talked about. There's been a lot of these coming out, and somehow Shredder's Revenge is the one that's still kind of the set the bar. So I have to assume that.
Well, Shredder's Revenge is based on the one that people actually have nostalgia for to begin with, and it's probably the best one. And I do think this one looks good as well. I thought now this one kind of might draw nostalgia for the X-Men arcade games and some other things. I can't believe we haven't seen a Simpsons version of this yet. Drawing from the Simpsons arcade.
that would be cool.
That's coming. Believe me.
Oh yeah.
Within the year. Trust me. I can't believe it hasn't happened yet. But I think this one does look pretty good. I don't love the logo. It's kind of got like that Body Harvest game from Nintendo 64.
I love Body Harvest.
I know, but this logo doesn't feel Marvel to me in any way. But I'm huge. I'm still playing Marvel Rivals every day. It absolutely rules. And I kind of feel like the video game Marvel character designs are crushing it these days. Like the art in Marvel Rivals is amazing, and I really like the look of some of these characters in Cosmic Invasion. So I'm kind of hyped for this as well. I'm not done yet. I'm going to keep going. And you know what? I'm going to buy the Simpsons game too. I'll buy anything they make. I might not buy it day one, but I'll buy it eventually. What else? What needs a retro beat 'em up? Sorry, I'm putting you guys on the spot.
Yeah.
What intellectual properties
G.I. Joe?
already exists? I think there's
Already
two
done.
already.
Okay. Of a retro beat 'em up though?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if that's why it was in your head, but yeah, they released one last year.
Is there a He-Man retro beat 'em up yet?
Not that I'm aware of. Yeah, like there's a movie coming out, so that makes sense.
What about Mask? Remember Mask?
I mean, I definitely remember it and definitely love it. I don't know if it fits with the beat 'em up
No,
because
probably
they just
not.
fight with their masks, but
I'm trying to think. Like, they got to do Battletoads again with pixel art. Like that art attempt was just. It was fine. It just fell flat. Obviously, people want classic, retro-inspired art for these games. What about? I'm trying to call back to beat
Scott
'em ups.
Pilgrim sequel.
Yeah, absolutely not. Call back to beat 'em ups that people are nostalgic for, like the X-Men. Wasn't there
Well,
an Aliens
done-
one? Like what about Aliens?
There was, yeah, that'd be cool. There's a couple Dungeons and Dragons ones that people
Yeah?
were pretty big on. That would be a good one.
Sega announced the new Golden Axe, right? Was it this style of game? Did it have pixel art?
I don't remember, but they did announce one.
I
yeah.
mean, they should just do new Golden Axe, new. Why can't I think of Altered Beast? Where's Altered Beast?
Good question.
just a note here. Altered Beast is an absolute fucking turd.
I agree.
Game sucks.
It looks so good though.
Okay. Next, well, not last, but Tomodachi Life, Living the Dream, coming in 2026. I didn't know this was a series. It had Mii's in it, which was kind of cool looking. I mean, it started with a fart, like a little fart bubble. So I thought this trailer kind of brought the humor, and starting with the fart got huge points in my book. But I don't care about this unless it did make me start thinking about games based on farting, because the fart bubble kind of was green and it kind of looked like broccoli. So I was thinking of a game where like your fart took shapes and like you had to figure out what people ate, or some kind of detective fart game. But I feel like we talked about this recently.
That's a hidden gem. That's a hidden gem right there.
I know, like on Howard Stern. On Howard Stern, they were trying to guess what Richard ate based on the sounds of his shits. But I mean, this is. Is there a fart detective game? There's got to be a fart detective game.
I don't think so.
I don't think there's any. Well, I just looked it up. There is a game called Fart Game on Steam, but I feel like there's not enough just straight up fart tied games.
Where's the potty?
Out there.
Where's the potty humor games? Where's the potty humor genre?
Yeah, let's bring it back. Well, let's start it. Fuck it. Anyone have anything to say about Tomodachi Life?
I mean, it looks like Animal Crossing kind of thing, so it'll probably do well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, last announcement: the Nintendo Today app.
Huge.
Which I've downloaded. Have you guys downloaded it?
No.
No? Oh my god!
I downloaded Nintendo Music. That's as far as I went.
Oh, I forgot to download Nintendo Music. Oh, I got to do that too. But I mean, you can theme it any way you want. So you could pick between, I think, all the same things as Alarmo. So I'm looking. It did make me think about buying Alarmo again. I will say that if there's integration with Nintendo Today and Alarmo, look out. Can you still buy a lot? What am I doing?
Imagine being able to set an alarm from your phone to your Alarmo. Amazing.
Is this still pre-ordered? Does anyone have an Alarmo yet? Is there?
I think they are out in the wild, but I don't know anyone who has one.
Okay, I'm gonna watch a review for some of these things tonight and probably buy one. But yeah, I like the idea of like a daily news kind of thing, and I wish. I do hate on the Switch, like the news panel, like it's updated with garbage every day. But on my phone, like I can consume that news on the shitter. I can consume it in different ways. It's better suited for a phone than when I want to play games. So I'm excited by the potential of this, and yeah, it's
I
huge.
I actually agree with you on that. Like, it's nice to have a one like direct spot to get information, but again, like you said, how much crap will they throw in the pipe?
Yes.
How much spam will they send your way? That is the real question. And then, how much will they favor first party products versus other stuff? Or, will they actually have news for indie studios? And I don't know if they will. I think it'll be mostly Nintendo products, mostly, Nintendo Direct announcements, and not I don't know. It'll be a fine balancing act of what to actually put on there so that it doesn't turn people off and make them uninstall the app.
I don't have high hopes for this thing, but hey, if they start putting out good content, maybe I'll check it out.
Frank, report back next week.
Well,
if you've uninstalled it or still have it.
I mean, I'm curious. I basically downloaded it because, Wednesday morning is the Nintendo Switch 2 Direct, and I want to see how it integrates with that. What happens? Maybe I'll get exclusive access to pre-orders. Losers. So maybe you might want to. I shouldn't even tell people to download this app right now.
You shouldn't. That was dumb of you. It's gonna be limited number. You're just limiting your chances.
Okay, we've spent way too much time on this Nintendo Direct.
Yes.
Absolutely insane, unnecessary amount of time. Time to give letter grades. What are we giving this thing?
Ooh.
All right, I'm giving it a D.
That's high. I'm gonna give it an
I
E.
mean,
An E.
an
An
E.
E.
Whoa, that's crazy.
Not for
I'll give it a
excellent.
C minus. You know, you got Metroid Prime, you got Shadow Labyrinth, you got the Marvel game. There's a few things, but
The Marvel
not great.
game was the only thing I liked in this thing.
Okay, on Wednesday, and you regrade it. What will it be then? Is
Hmm?
it well? Once we have the Switch 2, it would be an F basically. Like who cares? It's completely new.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so.
So get ready for Wednesday. Look, if it's a megaton, I'm prepared to talk about it at any point. I am so excited for the Switch 2 announcement.
You're talking
I
emergency pods now?
emergent
Emergency
well,
pods?
just replacement emergency pods. I'm not saying we double dip. Like this would
Oh,
replace
okay.
next week's show, but uh I love new console announcements. I think it's my favorite thing in the world. I am so excited. I hope they show the interface. I hope it's like a deep dive. I cannot wait for Wednesday morning.
Have they announced the release date of Switch 2 yet?
No, that they're
Do you think they're
probably
going
gonna.
to tomorrow or whatever?
Oh yeah.
They
Oh,
better.
What do we think it's going to be? What do we think? You think holiday? Think it's going to be holiday?
I mean, most people seem to be saying June. I don't know
June.
what that's based on, but that's just the general consensus, I
Think
think.
they're trying to get out before GTA 6? Like everyone else?
Yeah, I mean,
I
it's interesting. Like, you would think maybe September might be better, but obviously it gets crowded at that point. I think you get it out before the summer starts and kids are
Yeah.
want it for the summer. So, kind of makes sense.
I mean, I would
Talk
love it
about it in school.
if it came out on my birthday. That would be huge, June 21st. Like, does anything get any better than a console release on your birthday? That's certainly never happened to me before. I'd lose my mind, but I'm gonna guess it will be August. Let me do the math here.
I feel like we already made predictions and they're probably already wrong. So,
It will be released Wednesday, August 20th.
Bold prediction.
okay.
Wednesday.
When I'm away at a cottage, I will have no access to get it. I'll have to debate if I pre-order it to the Walmart in Perry Sound so I can get it while I'm at the cottage.
You should. You
Well,
should.
the most inconvenient time possible was when it will release. So if you can bet on this, bet on the week of August 16th to 23rd. You'll make some money. Okay,
Okay.
let's get to what we played, and it's been anyone have anything brand new they want to talk about? Do you want to talk about Atomfall, Sean, or do you think we should talk about Shadows?
I mean, I feel like we should jump into Shadows. Like, you probably have a lot more to say. You've played a lot more than I have. So,
I'd say I'm about 40 hours into Shadows. I have
Damn.
tried many Assassin's Creed, every Assassin's Creed, I think, since Black Flag, and have not spent more than 3 hours in them. So I am part of the group that says this is the best Assassin's Creed since Black Flag, and I don't even think it's close. I'm really enjoying it. The I know Sean talked about it last week a bit, but it is weird. You start off with the samurai character and then lose them immediately, and then 10 hours basically you're playing as the ninja. And I was like, this is kind of strange, but okay, we'll see where it goes. And I actually kind of like the setup because that 10 hours is classic Assassin's Creed gameplay. It's like uh stealthy, for the most part, smooth traversal. Like compared to Valhalla, climbing is so fast. That's the my favorite thing about this game. It is as Noe, the ninja character, super fast. Like you run fast, you climb fast, everything. Um, and everything was a chore in Valhalla from my memory, but they've you do things at a pace that is so appreciable over past games. Uh, and I've really enjoying the combat. But then when you switch to the other character, for me it was probably 15 hours in because I was exploring a lot. It was finally like, okay, this plays very differently. There's no stealth, and you're just doing like melee combat with more power access and just like kind of a brute strength approach to things. And it was a very welcome change up. My only criticism with those two competing systems, I think it's great for like mixing it up and providing variety of gameplay, but switching between them is cumbersome. Like you get a load, you can only do it like a couple times I've tried, and it's like you can't in this certain context because I'm crouched or lying down and all this stuff. And I'm like, oh, like it. How does it not tell me that before I try to switch? Like it should tell me before. It waits till after you attempt the switch to tell you can't, which is crazy to me. But I love both characters. Playing as both is a lot of fun, but exploring the world is way more fun as the ninja. Like, because you can climb up stuff way faster, descend for like jump off things and roll. So they have really kind of hindered the one character in terms of exploration, which is probably the biggest downside to that. My minor complaints: too much foliage. I run up hills, or they need a system for making surrounding foliage transparent, because I run up hills and all I see are leaves. I'm surrounded by leaves. I'm just
That's why I
following.
said you could chop it down.
Not all of them. Like it's
No.
At least I'm not. It's not worth the time. Like it's faster.
Yeah,
They're not blocking me. They're just blocking my vision. So I'm running, but I'm just seeing leaves. My whole screen is leaves. That now it's tough because obviously that's there, because when you look out on the terrain from eagle vision or eagle standpoints and stuff, it looks densely populated. It looks realistic, which I love the look of the game. I think it looks amazing. But it does lead to issues when you're just trying to run up a hill and there's fucking trees everywhere.
Yeah, I found that you like compared to some other open world games, like usually, you just kind of go in a straight line. You're like, got to get to this place. I'm just going to run in the straight line and, climb up whatever I encounter. This is the first game, maybe not the first one, but like it really, like you hit a point and you're like, okay, I actually have to come at this from the other side. And then you got to run all the way around. And it makes that terrain very difficult to cross, and it's sometimes impossible. So,
yeah, I haven't found anything impossible yet. Like I've had to do some slight maneuvering or veering off the path, but not as much as I thought I would. It's just frustrating is all I would say. It doesn't like, for a game that looks this good, it's weird that sometimes I'm looking at nothing, like literally nothing except for colors on my screen. But I do love it. I just can't stop playing it. The every once in a while, an Ubi open world game, just that go to the next point, see what that question mark is, go do this, latches its hooks into me, and this is the one that did it. And I really like the dialogue system. It's good for skipping dialogue, and there was a quest early on. Did you do the T quest, Sean, where you had to bow the right height and all that stuff, and you had to remember what they said? I thought that was kind of cool.
I don't think so.
A nice change up for quests. And my other complaint: selling stuff should be easier. You have to like hold it on every item. You can't mark multiple things for sell or dismantle. Those are small quality of life things, but overall, I love it. I love the look of it. I think it's a ton of fun, and it's classic Assassin's Creed in the most fun way possible. And I'm probably gonna platinum it. And it's apparently it's smaller, but it's still very big. I will say at 40 hours, I am starting to get a bit of. It feels like a lot of the same stuff, and I'm only through Act 1 and 2 partially, so maybe I'll regret saying that I love it in a little while. But compared to Ghost of Tsushima, that got very repetitive too. So I'm sure a lot of people say Ghost of Tsushima is way better. I'm not so sure. They're very similar ninja samurai counterparts in combat, but both have their merits. I love both, and this game certainly ripped off some ideas like meditation, like the Sakura stuff and other elements. So I'm not giving it full originality points, but it is a lot of fun to play. Good game.
Yeah, I played a little bit more. Uh, I don't really have too much more to say. I guess like I'm just waiting for. I still feel like it hasn't hooked me. Like I am enjoying it. I find that the quests that I've seen so far have been pretty basic. So I'm like, I guess I maybe I've just been doing mostly side quests so far. Maybe I need to just focus more on some of the story ones. I assume those ones would be better, but not always
Yeah,
true.
yeah, they kind of are. I will say during the story ones, the music has been really good. Like it's been some contemporary music mixed in, kind of classic movie score elements. It's when they pick songs for certain action sequences and cinematics, the music is solid, really good.
Yeah, wasn't there like early on there was like some I was surprised because it was mostly orchestral and then all of a sudden there was like a modern
Yeah.
song
Oh
in
yeah.
there.
Yeah, it was good.
And yeah, it was kind of interesting. But yeah, I mean I'm gonna try to keep playing for now and see where I get. I don't know if I'm definitely not gonna platinum it, I'll tell you that. I might beat it. We'll see.
But I was very pleasantly surprised after kind of giving up on this franchise for a while and seeing how late to the party they were with some of the Japan stuff. I was like, I'm worried, but it's really good. Oh, has a game done seasons before? The Red Dead
Well,
2 had seasons, right?
I
But
think
that was how
both
they.
Red Deads maybe did.
But I think no, I don't think the first one did. The second one, how it did it was the story was framed through seasons. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Yeah, you start
So
off in like winter and then you
yeah,
progress out
yeah.
over.
I
So
think Ghost of Tsushima did, didn't it?
maybe I don't think this is the first game that did seasons, but it does it really well. It like completely like visual pacing refreshes the game. Like waterfalls and water areas with snow look amazing. A lot of the temples and castles, some of them are like mid construction, which I think is a nice visual change up and fun to traverse. Um, for how much similar type content there is in the game, there are clever ways to make it feel slightly different or kind of a new experience as you progress through the game. So if you're on the fence about this one, I've been recommending it to people a lot, and they have been happy that they picked it up.
Are we thinking this is like I haven't heard anything in terms of sales. Like obviously this was a big deal for Ubisoft. Like this game had to do
Oh
really
yeah,
well. They did just spin off the three franchises into like a different company, I think.
yeah, funded by Tencent, Assassin's Creed, Ghost Recon, and what was the other one?
Far Cry, maybe.
Yeah, Far Cry. So I don't know what that's about, really, to be honest. But I think I read something. It has the most sales of any Assassin's Creed game after 2 days. So sales wise, I think it's doing really well. I don't know if it's hitting targets or not, but definitely not a bust. Considering there's a lot of negative stuff about the game as well, and like people like kind of just rallying against it, but it's a good game. It's a very fun game in my opinion. Okay.
Cool.
Huck, anything for you?
I just quickly I beat Rise of the Tomb Raider, which I was playing last week. I really like the pacing of this game. I think it's great. I actually immediately went and installed Shadow of the Tomb Raider, and actually also Horizon Forbidden West, which I never played. Sorry, not played, never beaten. So I'm kind of into these like third person action games again right now. I'm going through a bit of a kick,
It's almost like they're
and
the best games ever.
it's almost like that. Yeah, yeah, it does seem to be that way. So also like they all have like bow and arrows and multiple other weapons, which are fun. So I haven't really. I started Shadow, and I was trying to like skip through the cutscenes, and I got to the opening scene where like a rock falls on her leg and you're like prying it out with a knife, and my wife and kids were there, and they're like, "Shut it off, shut it off." I'm like, "Okay, fine, shut it off." So I didn't really even get to play it. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I have the the amount of Rise of the Tomb Raider did not put me off of playing Shadow, which I was surprised of. I thought I'd be sick of it,
So you
but
franked it and just pushed right through.
I know exactly, like I took a couple days off, and then I'm like, you know what? I feel like playing more Tomb Raider right now. So I installed Shadow, and I'm ready to hop back in. I was really enjoying it. So I thought I'd have to go to Forbidden West and try something a little different, but I'm kind of feeling Shadow. I kind of want to jump in.
I remember doing the trophy for Shadow, or is it Shadow or Shadows? I don't know.
I think just Shadow.
Which is beat the game without dying, and
Whoa.
yeah, I had to do some save spamming to do it, but
I bet.
it was challenging. It was there's
You
one
know, I'm
part.
playing on easy or whatever it's called.
You guys aren't even
Adventurer.
gamers, dude.
No,
Like,
we're
come
not. No.
on.
Got that family time. You gotta maximize your speed run.
All
Pretend
that
it's speed running.
all that respect I gained for you guys when my family was staying with me is completely gone. I forget
Hey,
that. You guys,
I don't play games on easy. Why you
Yeah. Why are you bragging
blaming me?
Sean in here too? Come on. It's just
Sean
me.
does yeah, but you
I
don't.
just don't play hard games.
There you go. That's what I was gonna say exactly. All right. Maybe I'll just mention quickly the first Berserker Khazan, which released and is getting a lot of praise. I tried the demo, which there's a demo on all platforms, I'm pretty sure. Another Souls-like with kind of a cel-shaded art style. Excuse me. And I think our friend Andrew James had shared a link about a review that I watched that described it as I'd already played it at this point, but what was it? Sekiro meets. Oh, damn it. I can't remember what the other game is now. Neo, my two favorite of these kind of genre. So I was like, oh, okay. I'm definitely intrigued. Now, I liked what I played as a Souls-like. Felt very familiar. Just, it's got its own flourishes and touches and systems, but for the most part, kind of played like a Souls-like that I'm used to. But I just couldn't play it because for whatever reason, this Souls-like is mapped to square and triangle, and Assassin's Creed is R1 and R2, and I'm like, I was doing the wrong thing constantly, and I really liked the look of it. I thought it was cool. I think I will like the game. I just can't play it now. I have you cannot mix this game with Assassin's Creed. Can we just agree on a set of buttons for games? I know we've talked about this millions of times, but like, this should not be that hard. And you could remap an Assassin's Creed, but it certainly wasn't easy, and it created a lot of problems when I tried to do it. But this game should maybe I missed it, but it should have an option for like classic R1, R2. But Neo, Square, and Triangle, you can't win. No matter what happens, you can't win. You have to dedicate your life to one game at a time, which sucks.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Not good for dabbling.
I made a very good impression. I will probably get around to playing it when it goes on sale in the near future.
Cool.
I hope they don't go on sale, though. I hope they say, you know what, this game is good. We're not going to go on sale. It will catch on.
Yeah, I've heard some good things about it.
All right, Sean, hit us with Atomfall.
Yeah, so I tried a bit of this. I mean, I really didn't play that much, maybe half an hour. But I was curious, the settings kind of seemed interesting to me. Like it is a survival game. It is, I would say, in the vein of Stalker. It's kind of like post-apocalyptic, like after a nuclear disaster, but it's in England and it has this kind of British flavor to it. Kind of reminded me a little bit, just, surface level initial impressions, reminding me a bit of like We Happy Few meets Stalker or something like that. Like there's these gangs that are roaming the countryside and they have like these weird masks and stuff on. But I thought it looked really nice. It's not as janky as Stalker. It definitely feels more polished. But it was, you come up against a bunch of enemies and right away, you pick up a gun with like one bullet, or you pick up like a spiked club that's like super slow to swing, and it's just like you're fighting like eight people, and the tool tips every time you die are like maybe avoid combat. You shouldn't, do you really want to fight these people? And it's like, okay, so that's the kind of game this is. Like, I don't know. That kind of frustrated me a bit. I kind of did.
I hate when games put you in combat situations to learn to avoid it.
Yeah,
Just tell me to avoid it. Because whenever you're presented a challenge in a game, I would say you have a 90% assumption that it's achievable. Like and if it's not, that's fine. Just tell the player that, that it's a rule. Making a player learn that you can't complete certain challenges, I just think it's bad. But
That
I mean,
that
it
was always a
exists.
big that was always a big thing in like RPGs. You know, you like cross the wrong bridge and all of a sudden you're facing like
Yeah.
guys that are 20 levels higher than you and they don't really like tell you, especially in older ones, but it's better now, I think, but it was always a problem. It seems
Yeah.
weird in the situation Dwyer's explaining though.
Yeah. No, because that's exactly what Stalker was like. Like, I couldn't fight guys, and I was like, am I supposed to fight these guys? I have no idea. And
yeah. And it's just like it's not really like I guess there are stealth elements, but like it's not really a full on stealth game either. So you're kind of like, okay, there's like a huge horde of enemies right here, like one of the first things in the game, but don't fight them. Or I guess you just got to be really good to fight them. But I don't
Sean,
know.
I
Yeah,
did not know this. I want to let you know. Main story for Atomfall. Do you know how long it's listed as
no.
how long to beat? 9 hours.
Oh, well,
Oh,
that's a selling point
juicy.
for sure.
Hello.
But yeah, I didn't know if it was also like a Souls like thing. Like I think that's they put some enemy that you can't beat and it just kicks your ass, and then there's some satisfaction that later in the game you come back and it's you could just wipe the floor with that enemy or something. I don't know. But I did get around the enemies and kind of get to explore a little bit. Found a metal detector, dug up a cache with some stuff in it. I was like, okay, this is kind of cool. I like the world, but I don't know. It as with Stalker, it just felt like okay, I could kind of force myself to get through this. And I should mention there is in terms of difficulty levels when you start the game, there's like an option for like normal combat but less survival elements, which is what I chose because I usually don't. The survival stuff turns me off. So you have that option, but again, it's like I don't know how much are you going to twist this game to fit what you want as opposed to well, it's just not for me, and that's what I keep coming up against lately. I have one other thing to quickly mention. I don't know if
Go ahead. Sorry, I couldn't find the unmute button on this fucking thing.
so. I was dabbling in a little game called Your House. So this is I had tried the demo for this at Steam Next Fest, and now it's out. And it's kind of an interesting puzzle game where you're kind of reading text, like it's like you're reading a novel, but then the words as you're reading them are things you can click on and interact with. Kind of reminded me a little bit of what is Device Six, I think it was called. It's for the same people who made Lorelei and the Laser Eyes. Not Your House, but Device Six is, and that was a game on iOS where you're kind of reading text, but then there's interactive stuff that it's hard to explain, but it's kind of like that. And I like the art style, but I don't know. Some of the puzzles were not as intuitive as maybe I would have hoped. But I'm kind of digging it. It's kind of short. And if you're kind of into more interactive fiction type stuff, maybe you might be interested. I think the developer has done a couple other games kind of like this. I can't remember what they're called offhand, but they seem to be into this type of thing.
Yeah, it looks like that other game visually I can't remember what it was called that we kind of liked at the day of the devs. It was a puzzle game. Do you remember what I'm talking about? We had it in our top 5 list. I know that. Anyway, I can't remember the name. Not good, but mixed reviews on Steam. Not sure about this one, Sean.
Well, I did see on Metacritic it was like a 60 or something. I feel like that's kind of unfair from what I'm seeing. Like not for everyone, obviously, but I mean, in terms of the story and what it's trying to do, I thought it was kind of a clever thing that I hadn't really seen done too much. Like I think of visual novel, that the genre visual novel, and this is actually more what I think a visual novel is. It's not so much what the visual novel genre actually is. So I don't know, just kind of cool.
Okay, okay. I think that's it for me. I really haven't played anything but Assassin's Creed lately. So, trying to think if there was anything last week that I didn't forgot to talk about, but I don't think so. More Rivals COD and Helldivers still playing.
Did you see Jay and Silent Bob coming to COD?
No, I didn't.
Yeah,
Is
Uh-oh.
this? I'm kind of excited. I will buy them.
it's kind of
Definitely,
cool.
definitely, Jay. If he is it like Jason Mewes doing the voice for it stuff?
I'm not sure about that, but
I like for Terminator, it's awesome. The
yeah,
Terminator skin, yeah. When you kill someone with Terminator, it's a fuck you and fuck you, asshole. It's
nice.
good. It's good.
Uh.
All right, I'm a COD bro. Yeah. All right. Anything come out this week? Anything dropping at midnight tonight that I need to buy?
Um,
I don't think so.
yeah, I'm trying to think what the next big thing is. I know there's a bunch of stuff in April, but
Yeah, looks like
what's
some
coming to
big
mind?
big buck hunters maybe. So nothing, but we will for sure be discussing the Nintendo Switch 2 Direct. Stay tuned, download the Game Junk Today app and get your updates and our opinions on any Nintendo news coming over the next 7 days. Anything else anyone needs to mention?
Nope.
All right, before we go,
Nope.
hype level, decimals included, Nintendo Switch 2 announcement 0 to 10. Where are you at?
I mean,
5?
oh,
5?
I'm
5.
like a 9. I'm like psyched as well, but I just hope there's some surprise that we didn't see coming.
I'm an 8.27 firmly.
Wow, firm.
That's where I'm at right now. It's
Sorry, you're right. I should have been about a 5.13.
like I know in the back of my mind it's going to disappoint me, which is affecting it. But like part of me is like, no, this is the time they're going to get it right. This is the time they're going to announce achievements. And if that happens, all bets are off. The blue haze may permanently disappear. If I
No
can
way.
if I can get the equivalent of a platinum trophy in Mario 64, Mario Odyssey, that's it. I'm done.
Do you
I'm
hear
dead.
yourself right now? You're full
I'm
of
just
shit right now.
I love the idea of starting from scratch. I got it. I can't wait. Oh
You're
God,
saying if Sony came
please
out and
give it to me.
announced Uncharted 5, you would not come crawling back just because Nintendo has achievements?
I know I would still play PlayStation, but it wouldn't be like completely ignoring other consoles.
I see.
Nintendo would
I
get me
see.
back in its grips. Uh, but who knows? They've really not been on board with that idea. Okay, that's it.
You want a hot take for the Switch 2 announcement?
Bring it. Now's the time. You only
Giant,
got 24 hours left.
giant turd.
Oh, no way.
That's
Yes.
a lukewarm take.
Or say-
Will pre-orders sell out?
yes, of course they will.
No.
Wasn't their whole thing like it's been done in it's been in manufacturing for like months so that they
That's what
could
they're saying.
Okay. I think they will not sell out. I'll be able to go to Perry Sound during the week of August and pick up my Switch 2 and play video games in my cottage during the whole week. All right. I can't wait. Wednesday. It's happening. Thank you for watching on youtube.com/Game Junk. Check it out. Like, subscribe, comment, or listening through all your various podcasting platforms. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.